Welcome. You are here with Dr. Nilda Perez with Business Foresight, creating strategies towards your extraordinary future. Hello and welcome once again to Dr. Nilda Business Foresight Show. And today I have my co-host with me, Rachel Calderon. Thank you for joining me, Rachel.
Thank you for having me again.
And my special guest today is Markus Heitkoetter. He is the CEO of Rockwell Trading. He has been trading personally for many years, but 11 years ago, he decided that he would teach the techniques, the skills, the strategies of online trading, which is awesome. He considers Rockwell Trading the front line of defense. This is how he says, that's what he calls it, the front line of defense, in forming a revolutionary figure who leads the underground movement. I love this, the underground movement against the financial advisors and the propaganda that they put out. Markus inspires you to take control of your financial future and, much like him, have this breakthrough into multi-million-dollar status. He has taught over 300,000 people. I've been very fascinated by that, how to trade, and he makes it so simple. He is also an author. He lives in Austin, Texas. He is a father of two, and I am so honored to have him here because this is a topic that has been very overwhelming to me. I've never really understood trading, and he's just simplified it. He's been able to master simplification of trading. So thank you for being here with us today, Markus.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show. That's exciting.
This is fascinating. So of course I have a lot of questions. So I really just want to jump into these questions because you were a professional. You worked for IBM. Like, that is the dream job for many. And
so I thought, right? I mean, this is what happened. So, you see, I did my first trade actually in 1989 when I was still in high school. Do we have a minute? Can I talk about this?
Absolutely, yes. Okay. Please do.
So, you see, I was in high school and I was fascinated by trading. So I wanted to trade. Now, this was back in 1989. And this is where in Germany, we didn't have any specialized brokerages. So you had to go to a bank to open an account. And so I went to Deutsche Bank with all of my disposable income, which was 50 Deutschmark. That's like $50. So anyhow, I went there, I talked to the banker, and I said, okay, I would like to open a trading account. And he said, okay, well, let's see where that goes. So he really allowed me to open a trading account with 50 Deutschmark. And so he said, well, Markus, what stock do you want to buy? And here's how I picked my stock. I asked him, what stock can I buy for 50 Deutschmark? Anyhow, so
good
this
idea.
I ended up with one share of VW Volkswagen. And I was so proud. There I was, the owner of a stock. And anyhow, so next morning I went to school. And during the first recess break, I ran to a payphone. 1989, we didn't have cell phones and online quotes.
Oh my goodness, that's right.
Inserted my 20 cents, called my banker and said, hey, how are we doing? And he said, well, the stock is up to $50.20. And I was excited. It was working. I was making money. So same during the second recess break. Ran to a payphone, inserted my 20 cents, called the banker and said, how are we doing? And he said, well, it's now at 50 Deutschmark and 30 cents. I thought, this is awesome. So as soon as I got home from school in the afternoon and the markets were closed, I asked him again and I said, how did we do today? And he said, well, we're at 50 Deutschmarks and 40 cents. And I was making money. I was so excited. So next morning, same thing. I ran to the payphone in the first recess break, second recess break, and also after school. So on the third day, my seventh call to the banker, this is when he said, Markus, how much money
it was only $50. That can't be on the phone all day.
How much money do you want to make with this stock? And I said, well, you know what? I would like to make 10 Deutschmark, because I mean, if I made 10 Deutschmark, this would be 20% based on the stock price, right? So this would be awesome. So he said, all right, done deal. Come to my office this afternoon. I'll give you the 10 Deutschmark, but stop calling me, right? So this was my first trade. It was a profitable trade, but this is when I realized that is probably not a sustainable trading strategy. So yeah, my parents convinced me to go to college. So I went to college. I have a degree in computer science and in business. And then I started working for IBM, and this was back in the 90s. And this is how I started my corporate career. And I mean, back in the 90s, working for IBM was great. I quickly climbed the corporate ladder, and within 3 years, I was a director and had a responsibility for what IBM calls EMEA, that's Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And I was traveling the world. I mean, I was flying business class. I stayed in fancy hotels. But see, this is where I got burned out. I mean, I was on the road 6 out of 7 days. And at first it was fun, but after a while, this is when working 60, 70, 80 hours, you start realizing that you don't have time for yourself and your friends. And I remember that moment when I was sitting in a fancy hotel room in Vienna, overlooking the Prater. It was beautiful, but
Right.
so this is when I realized, oh my gosh, I don't have a life, because at home they were celebrating a friend's birthday. You see, they didn't even invite me. Why? Because I was too busy. I was traveling. I said, I'm in Madrid, I'm in Paris, right? I mean, I was a hot shot. And this is when I realized, oh my gosh, I'm all alone. And that's when I made a decision. I said, okay, that's it. I got to get out of the corporate rat race. I have to do something different. And this is when, I made a drastic decision. I was so burned out that I said, I quit, and I moved from Germany all the way to Austin, Texas. So I moved from Germany to Austin to become a professional trader. Yeah, that's how it all started. This was way back in 2002.
Wow, which really wasn't that long ago. If you think about it, that's not that long ago. So
15
to
years.
make that's huge change. So so you leave the corporate world and you start a business, and instantly you become a millionaire, right?
Oh God, no. I mean, I came here with $30,000 in my pocket. You see, $20,000 I put in my trading account, and $10,000 I had for living expenses. I moved into a small apartment. I bought a used car. What a different lifestyle from what I was used to, right? But I thought, I'm free. I can do whatever I want, so I can trade and I'll make lots of money. Well, didn't work like this. So I mean, after a few months, I already lost half of my account because I was trading like a maniac. And I thought, oh my gosh, I mean, why can't I figure it out? I think I'm a smart guy. I went to college. I climbed the corporate ladder. I mean, I was doing well for IBM, and I couldn't figure it out. So I was almost ready to give up and go back working for the man. But this is when I looked at my trades, and I finally discovered, oh my gosh, here's what I did wrong. And so I knew how to fix it. And so my trading turned around. And yes, this is how I became the profitable trader. So talking about the business, how did the business get started? Oh my gosh, you see, I was just at home doing my own thing, trading, right? And this is when friends and neighbors asked, what do you do for a living? You're home all the time. And I said,
You're a lazy, you're a lazy man. Like, okay, this dude a drug dealer? He comes from Germany, and he does nothing all day.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right?
actually, initially the story that I told is that I said I'm a rodeo clown, and that's why I moved from Germany to Texas to be a rodeo clown. Anyhow, so that didn't fly. Anyhow, so they wanted to know what I'm doing, and I said, "Oh, come on over. I'll show you here. I'll share my screen with you and show you exactly what I'm doing." So friends came over and neighbors came over, and before I knew it, there were a lot of people in my house, and this is when I decided that it might be better to just put everything that I know on a website. And this was in 2005, I founded Rockwell Trading, and I put everything on the website. I did it with my brother and my best friend. And well, this is how it all started.
So I guess why trading? Because I know that for me, it's like that would be like the last thing I pick. And what were the problems that you decided to solve? So why trading?
Well, you see, I read this book from Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Have you read it?
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's an awesome book, right? I mean, you have these quadrants where you have E being an employee and then S being self-employed. And the goal is to move from the left side to the right side. This is where you're a big business owner, where you have hundreds of employees, or the ideal is the I, where you have money working for you. And you see, this is what fascinated me. This is what I wanted. I no longer wanted to be on the left side. You might have seen what Robert Kiyosaki does in the picture. This is the left side, right? So I didn't want to be on the left side. I wanted to move to the right side, but I didn't want to have a big business where hundreds of employees are working for me. I wanted to have money working for me. So if you want to have money working for you, I thought there's only two ways. There's investing in real estate and there is trading. Now I looked into both, and actually I'm doing both. I am heavily invested in real estate. I have a few apartment complexes here in Austin, a few single family homes. But what I like about trading is it's easier for me to control my risk, and it is more liquid. You see, if I wanted money out of my trading account, I could push a button today, and tomorrow it would be my personal account. Try that with real estate, right? I mean, if you want a fire sale today, if you want to move this fast. So for me, it's more liquid. And for me, it is easier to control than real estate.
Okay. Now, I've spoken to financial advisors, and the truth be told that when I've asked questions, and when I'm done with my conversation, I think I honestly feel more confused at the end of that conversation than I did initially. And it's so like the total opposite with you, because you make it very simplistic, very comprehensive, which I'll tell you works for me. It's my teaching style. And I think it's my teaching style because it's my learning style. And when I learn that, and you take, because that's a pretty, trading is pretty complex. It's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. So let's talk about that.
I disagree. And here's why. You see, many people make it complicated. When trading, it is all about limiting your risk. You definitely want to limit your risk. Now, think about it. If you limit your risk and you risk $1, but on the other hand, you're trying to make $1.50. So you're not buying a stock and holding it forever. I mean, you're having a profit target. And when the stock moves in your favor, you're just taking money out of the markets. Let me give you an example. Let's say you buy a stock for $100, right? So you buy a stock for $100, and then you say, you know what? If I'm not right and it moves against me, then you're liquidating, you're selling it again when it hits $90. So you risk $10, right? Just a little bit. It's not wiping your account. It's just a little bit. On the other hand, if it moves in the right direction, as soon as you see that it moves to $115, this is when you take profits. So you're risking $10, trying to make $15. Now think about it. This is when you could actually throw a dart, because you'll make money even if you're wrong half of your trades, because you lose $10 on your losing trades, but you make $15 on your winning trades. So this is why the entry and all this stock selection, blah, 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 it's not that important. It's more important how to manage it so that you actively get out of the trade if it goes against you, and also take profit if it moves in the right direction. Is this making sense somehow?
It makes perfect sense. And I love your passion. I love it. I love your passion. Yeah, you're so excited talking about this. And I tell you, honestly, when it comes to numbers, I cringe. And this is a conversation between Rachel and I all the time, because Rachel loves numbers. She gets numbers. I just become very overwhelmed. But this is simplifying. It's not even talking about the numbers. Is, look, you do this. If you see it going down, you pull out. You put it somewhere else. And if you made $15, at the end, you lost nothing.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You see, in these days, that's a beautiful thing. When I started trading, I was reading quotes in the newspaper. These days, I mean, it's 2017. We have all these fantastic software tools that can help us make the best decisions. We have this where it can alert us on our cell phone and say, okay, now is the time to sell because it moved against you, or now is the time to sell because it moved in the right direction. So if we utilize technology to our advantage here, it's getting really easy. And this is, you said it in the introduction, this is where I'm really on a mission here, where I say, you know what, trading doesn't have to be that complicated. You don't have to worry what a stock is doing and what a company is doing and analyzing all this stuff with PE ratios and projected revenues. No, I mean, all you can do these days is use software that picks the best stocks for you, and then you just apply what we call a stop loss, that you're limiting your risk, and a profit target that automatically takes profits when the stock is moving in the right direction. So it can be really simple. I really want you to do it. I really want you to.
Oh, no. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Oh, no, definitely. Yes.
And we're both very interested in doing that. But I love the passion that you have for it, because, I mean, working in corporate, the corporate, both Nilda and I in New York City, we met a lot of stock guys, and they were just so stockbrokers, and they didn't have the passion that you had. I mean, they were just like more angry.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So these days, when you hear the word stockbroker, for example, sorry for interrupting, but a stockbroker these days, I mean, he's just a glorified customer support. All he does is taking orders from somebody and place the trades, right? So this is why they're usually pretty grumpy and pretty angry, because they don't have the freedom. I mean, the guys that you meet in New York City there, they have a job. They have to get up in the morning and have to be there at 8 o'clock and be there to 5 o'clock. So they don't have the freedom that we can have as traders, right? Sitting in the backyard, just enjoying the day, because right now, there's nothing for me to do for trading. I did it earlier this morning for 10 or 15 minutes, right? And just checking my positions if they're, if I need to get out because they hit my loss, or if I have to take profits. And yes, I took some profits this morning. Yay, good Monday. Anyhow, so this is why I'm a little bit happier than maybe some of the guys who are trading or who have trading as a job, because that's what you have as a stockbroker.
Right.
I love it. Can I ask you another question? I'm sorry. How is Rockwell Trading innovative then?
How is it innovative? Well, it's because we're taking all this complexity out of trading. So you see, I can teach you to trade in just an hour. You see, most other companies who are in our space who teach you to trade, they say, oh my gosh, no, you have to come to a 3-day course. And after a 3-day course, you have to go to a 5-day course. And then you have to join a mentoring program, which goes on for years. And oh my gosh, it's so complicated to become a trader. No. I mean, I really can teach you how to trade in 60 minutes or less. And this is why I believe that we are innovative, because we're different. We are not trying to sell you something where you have to learn for the next few weeks and months, because who wants this? I mean, 2017, we want instant gratification. And with the technology, we can have this. And this is what I teach. This is what we show our students and everybody who wants to hear it and not want to hear it, because I'm really passionate about it.
I can see that. So, which leads to my next question. You don't have a line. You, first of all, your office is on a plane. every time I talk to you, Marcus, you're flying somewhere in the world. First of all, secondly, you don't have a brick and mortar. You actually teach all of this in the most comprehensive way. And nobody has to, I mean, they can sit home in their underwear and trade, because you don't only make it simplistic. You don't have a line outside of your office to teach them this. They come in, you have these short seminars, you teach them what to do, and they do everything online.
Right. You see, most of the stuff is really done online. I mean, this is why we do the interview right now. Think about years ago, right? We would have sat in a studio somewhere. I would have to fly somewhere to do this interview. Now technology is making all this possible. And the same is with learning. I mean, this can all be taught online through videos. And yes, you're looking at my office right now. That's it. That's pretty much my office. So that's the beautiful thing about it. And yes, you're right. I mean, every now and then I'm doing live events, because some people like to learn in a live environment. So this is why I do live events. They're anywhere from 1 to 3 days, where I invite you to come, and you can get the same information on DVDs, but some people prefer being immersed for 3 days, really being focused and examples and hands-on and trying the software and asking questions. And so that's what we do too. Yes.
Okay. I love that, because you've made it very easy for different types of learners as well. I'm very into learning styles because of my own personal experience with learning styles. So I love the fact that you do it live, as well as, you give them a DVD or audio, whatever it is that can help that person through this process. So I love that.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. And you see, it's also about commitment. I mean, everybody is more committed if you're traveling somewhere, if you're taking 3 days out of your schedule, than just buying an online course. I mean, buying an online course is easy, and then it usually collects dust on your hard drive, right? But whenever we commit to something, they really take this seriously. I'm spending $1,000 in flights. I mean, the seminars are not expensive. I'm charging $500 for 3 days. I mean, that's not the point. But it's a major expense to get there, to be away from time and family. But this is where you're showing to yourself, you're more committed, you're ready to do something, and yes, you're taking it more seriously. And that's what I love about the live events.
Right. But to me, most fascinating is that you are really I don't know if you're doing it consciously or unconsciously, really catering to the different learning styles. There are 3 different learning styles. There's the audio, like there's the auditory, which is people that learn, like Rachel, she can hear something, she'll capture the whole thing and she can run with it. Then there's the visual, who need to have to see something, they see the video and they capture. And then there's the kinesthetic, someone like me who needs to hear it, needs to see it, needs to apply it hands-on. And then I'm off, to the races. So you've really made it so not only comprehensive, but you're catering to the different teaching styles.
Oh, good. I'm doing something right. That's awesome.
Yes. Okay, so just so you know, you're better than you think.
I really didn't think about it this way. I mean, it's great, this explanation. I love it. The reason why I did the live events is because I just love then talking to traders and just work with traders or individuals who are more committed to trading. That's what I like about the live events.
Well, I'll tell you, you have done more than you think, because you are really, and it's funny because people may not even understand their own learning style, but they know what they're more gravitated towards. They're more gravitated to being in a room, their attention being very focused on what they're learning, and they're actually practical. They're learning, they're hearing it, and they're actually doing it. Another person can see a video, or another person can be audio, they're auditory, pop that thing in the car. By the time they get to their location, they already totally understand, and they're off to the races. So you have really, that's what I said, it was unconscious, but this is genius, the way you have catered to the different learning styles. And
how simple you've made it as well.
And the simplicity, right?
Because I think that's what caught my eye and my attention when we were talking in our last event. When I was like, okay, you have to explain this to me. And when he sat there and he just, in like, I think it was 5 minutes or less, I turned around and I run to Nilda. I said, we're doing that next.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So I have a question, because I'm, foresight and innovation and future, and I see in a lot of ways that's your focus, also teaching people how to position themselves for the future. But how do you see Rockwell trading moving into that future? Like, how are you constantly learning new ways, better ways of making them, making it not only more comprehensive, but even adding other things to Rockwell trading to make the process better?
Absolutely. So once a quarter, we are taking a whole day with the team where we ask one question, and this is, how can we make this even easier for our customers? What else can we do to make it easier for our customers to learn, to understand? And so a few examples. One of the things that we did 2 years ago is that we programmed our own software. It's just because if you start trading, and I explain you the principles, and then you need to go and learn different software, and these softwares are complex. So I wanted to have a software that is really simple, and this is why I got together with a programmer here in Austin and say, you know what, I want to have this software, and it's not allowed to have more than 10 buttons. It needs to be that easy, only 10 buttons. Actually, it has 11. The 11th button is the help, so I let that slide. But this is what we did 2 years ago.
You're so forgiving.
Right. So this is one of the innovations that we had. Then another thing is when we sat with the team and said, how can we make it even easier for people to learn from us? I mean, this is where we came up with the idea of live events. And really, it was less the explanation that you had, which I really love. I mean, I need to write this down. It was more like, some people might prefer to learn in a live environment. So this is why a year ago we started adding these live events. Now we are looking at it and we say, how can we make it even easier? And this is why now we are looking into providing text alerts, right? So to make it really easy that you don't have to sit in front of the computer, so you're just getting a text message and then you have to log in. Now, for regulatory reasons, I cannot trade for you because this would be the easiest way, but I also want to empower you to learn it, to take control of your financial future so that you're not dependent on me. And I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible. And this is how we constantly innovate, by just asking this question, how can we make this even easier? And it was, I think 6 months ago when I renamed my customer support team. And my customer support team is now called Customer Success Team, because this is what they're all about. Their only task is to make our customers successful. So I don't have a customer support team. I have a customer success team that will help you to become successful.
Awesome. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Okay. So you leave. This is such a, short time. So 10 years ago, 11 years ago, you leave your job, you start, trading, then that trading became your business. Look at all the things that you've done in your business. Now, thinking back, going back 10 years, did you imagine that you'd be an author, that you'd be in the position that you're in today? I mean, I know you knew how to trade, so you had your financial piece down packed, but did you realize that one day you'd be an author, you'd be a speaker, you'd be on stage? Did any of this come? No.
No, I mean, this just came with the business, and it was a total surprise. But this is where, let's go the path of the least resistance. I mean, when there's an opportunity, right? I mean, I'm just looking, okay, there's an opportunity, and then I'm always looking, let's limit my risk. That's what I've learned in trading, right? And if there's limited risk also in business, I'm going after the opportunity. So this is why, yes, I chose to speak on stages. Yes, why I chose to put on live events, because it's a limited risk, right? So once you have this mindset, okay, let's see, what is the risk and how can we limit it? Then you can take advantage of all these opportunities, right?
Fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about the book.
Yes.
Tell me about the
Which
book.
We have
you
two
have
books.
Several. You have two books.
One book that I wrote several years ago, right in the beginning, it's called The Complete Guide to Day Trading. So for people who are interested in day trading and say, okay, what do I need for day trading? First of all, what does it mean? How much money do I need? What computer do I need? How much money can I make? And what do I need to learn? This is all in the book, The Complete Guide to Day Trading. Now, this is teaching the basics, and then I realized that many traders need a specific trading strategy. And this is why I've published a second book, which is called The Simple Strategy, which is one of my favorite strategies. And this book is explaining this strategy in detail. Now, the books go pretty much hand in hand. If you have no clue about trading, the strategy book will always almost be a little bit too advanced, because you're seeing charts and you're seeing indicators, and you might say, what is charts? What are indicators, right? Yeah. So this is why the Complete Guide to Day Trading is helpful for beginners who have absolutely no clue about trading yet. And if you have been trading, struggling to make profits, and you're looking for a strategy, this is when The Simple Strategy would be a great book.
Okay, fabulous.
Now I have a question, and coming from the marketing perspective.
Yes.
You are like the king of the funnel system.
Yes.
Because that's now you've been able to roll out yet another thing just from doing the trading, the books, the speaking,
right? And
like this is a whole other stream of income that you have now. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because that, to me, I mean, you taught me a few little things, and I just run with those little few tips that you've given me. They've actually worked, by the way, just to let you know.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, a funnel is just an automated way to turn prospects into customers. And that is important for me, because I don't want my business to take away from my trading and my teaching, what I really love. So I don't want to sit there all day and trying to market. So I wanted to find an automated way that people are becoming aware of what we are doing. And if they say, you know what, that sounds cool, I want to learn more, how they can systematically learn a little bit more and go baby steps until they decide, all right, I will invest in one of these classes, in one of these courses, in the software. Because, I mean, when it comes to acquiring customers, it's all about they need to know, like, and trust us. So a funnel is a systematic way that they first get to know me. Then I hope that they like me, because if they don't like me, they will not trust me. I mean, it's just the way how it is, right? So this is why a funnel is a systematic way where first you give something away for free, that they get to know you. Then they see if they like you by asking for a small commitment. The small commitment that I'm asking for is $7, right? I mean, it doesn't break the bank. And then you see that I over-deliver, and this is an important part of it. I mean, you have to over-deliver even for $7, so that they say, you know what, if I get all this for $7, yes, I'm going to give you 97, 197, 297, whatever the next step is. And this is what I like about funnels. And that's probably my German mind and a little bit of the computer mind that I still have of how can we automate stuff, right? And that's why I'm also very, very fascinated with funnels. It's just another great way.
How many leads would you say you gain per day with this automated system, which, I mean, I think it's a fabulous system.
It's maybe around 200 to 300 per day. So we're getting around 800 to 1,200 new customers every month. So we're having around 10 to 12,000 leads per month, which is email addresses, and then around 10% of them, 8 to 10%, are deciding to become a customer. So that's then between 800 and 1,200 new customers per month. So
that's
fast, and I'm loving it.
Automated. That's just automated. That's you not having to do really, you did that system once, and I mean, tweaking it, but just doing it once, and basically that's running its own. Right.
That's the important thing. I mean, I'm always tweaking because that's fascinating, right? I mean, just to see how can we make it more efficient. I mean, it's the same way as I ask my team, okay, how can we be more efficient teaching our customers? How can we make them more successful? Here in the same way, I'm asking the team, okay, what else can we do to make your life easier? So every Tuesday, for example, I have a meeting with my customer success team. And what I'm asking them after we discuss how can we make the customer's life easier, I said, how can we make your life easier, right? And so I'm doing it in all aspects of the business of just saying, okay, what else can we do to make this even easier? And this is how we constantly improve. You see, I just want to show you this really quick here on my phone, because I think it will be really cool. You see my screensaver on my phone. I hope that you can see it. It says, be obsessed with improvement. So this is my screensaver, and this is my mindset. I'm obsessed with improvement. I mean, improving the lives of our customers, improving the lives of my team members, making the processes even easier, and also having a bigger impact. So that's what it's all about.
Fantastic. I love it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
It's an excellent, it's an excellent mantra, because you are really competing against yourself. Yes. You're constantly competing against yourself. I'm good. I'm great. How can I be better? And I don't know if you've read Jim Collins' book, From Good to Great.
Yes.
Yeah, like good is never good enough. It's always this competition with yourself to be even better. And I think if we all in our businesses have that motto, and have that mantra and have that leading us in business, it's impossible not to succeed. It's impossible. And at the same time, and to me, the most fascinating is the fact that you are making your customers' lives better, facilitating the process for them, constantly making things better for them. I know for a fact that's what we do. We're constantly trying to make things easier, better. How can it flow, and how can things, because again, it can be as complex or as simple as you make it. And the better you make it for them, the better their lives, the better it is for you, even as the the CEO or the founder or whatever of a company, it makes it easier for you. So I love that.
Thank you.
So here's my question. A foresight strategist will always look at the future. Where do you see Rockwell trading in 5, 10, 25 years from now?
Well, I really want to become the leading company for financial education. By financial education, I really mean active trading. You see, these days it is easier than ever to take control of your retirement account, or no longer have to rely on the government or Social Security or even the markets. You see, too many people right now just put money away and hope that the markets will continue to go up. Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. The past 2 years have been good, but we know from 2000 and 2008 that regularly we have crashes. And I want to make sure that for the next crash, you're prepared, you know how to take advantage of this, and that it is not hurting you. And I believe that we can do this with our simple messaging. And this is where I want to take Rockwell Trading to the next level. I really want everybody to understand trading is not that complicated. It doesn't need a lot of time. 10 or 15 minutes a day, that's all you need to actively manage your account. But this will allow you to just rely on yourself. You don't never have to rely on the government again, never have to worry about who will be the next president, whether in Europe the Brexit is exiting, whether in Korea some guy is shooting missiles all over the place. I mean, of course, these are things that concern us, but it shouldn't really affect your retirement. And that's what I'm all about.
Okay. So they will probably affect our environment, but not our finances, not our retirement. And there's so many people that have put all their eggs in one basket, and it's been the wrong baskets. And when they're ready to retire, they have nothing. And that's sad. That's really sad. I've seen that time and time again. And so many people can't retire. They can either not retire or they have to supplement with a part-time job. And you're saying nobody needs to do that ever.
Nobody should be doing it. Social Security right now, on average, you're getting $1,600. This is not living on $1,600. I don't know where in the country you can live on $1,600. I mean, that's not living. If you work hard all your life and you're accumulating some sort of wealth, you should be able to retire comfortably and enjoy your golden years or silver years or however you want to call it, right? And I also believe that everybody should be able to retire earlier. And this is what this is all about, because while you're having a job, you don't need to be a full-time trader. While you're having a job, while you're running a business, while you are still have a law practice, or while you're seeing patients or clients, right? You can still trade, because all you need is 15 minutes in the evening to manage your portfolio. Look, okay, is there anything that's going against me that I need to liquidate, or is there anything that where I can take profits right now? That's what it's all about, so that you can accelerate your wealth. And that's what I want to empower people to do.
I love it.
So I have a question then for the average person who again, you know, they're starting out, they're not sure, how much would they have to invest? Like, how much of a risk would they have to take? Because you know, we're not traders, so we're relying on you. So you're saying it's very simple. It's 15 minutes a day. How much money does it take to start?
Well, first of all, I recommend that you never risk more than 2% of your account size on any given trade. I would recommend that you start with at least $5,000. If you have $5,000, 2% of your account is that you can risk $100 on any given trade. Now, if you risk $100, you're trying to make $150. So that's not a whole lot. And let's say that you're doing it horribly wrong and that you have 10 losing trades in a row. Now, if you have 10 losing trades in a row and you risk $100 on any given trade, now you lost $1,000. Not a big deal, right? I mean, of course, it's not nice. You don't want to lose $1,000, but you're not wiped out. You're still in the game. You're only risking a small portion. So I would say if you have less than $5,000, let's say you would only start with $2,000, 2% of $2,000 is $40. If you risk only $40, you have fewer opportunities, right? Because a stock might trade at $100, so you need to give it a little bit more room. With $5,000, you have plenty of opportunities. And here's the other thing. If you can't make money on a small account, why should you trade a larger account? If you can make money with $5,000, why should you be trading $50,000? Prove to yourself first that you can make money with trading before you put more money into your trading account. Because most traders make this mistake. They start with $20,000. They enter the first trades. They don't limit their risk. And before they know it, I mean, it happened to me. Before you know it, the account is down to $10,000. Ouch, that hurts, right? So would you rather, if everything goes horribly wrong, would you rather lose $1,000 or $10,000?
Right.
Right? So this is
absolutely.
Why start small and then you can grow big over time.
Okay.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Fantastic. So you're saying that if somebody has like a retirement fund, or what if somebody has like $1,000 and they're like, oh yeah, I don't have 5,000. I guess I can't do that. Would you say they should start small? And I'll say that especially for young adults. Especially young adults.
With $1,000, it's possible. It's tricky. Here's what you should do. You should just paper trade on a simulated account and learn the skill. There is way more money out there that wants to be traded than there are traders. If you acquire this skill, it's a skill that you will have for life. Then believe me, there will be people who say, if you know how to trade, I'm giving you some money to trade. So this is possible, or you just keep saving up, right? I mean, never trade with money that you can't afford to lose. So don't borrow money, right? But you can start with $1,000. You can place a few trades and get used to it. But honestly, it would be a little bit underfunded. So you should just acquire this skill, because it's an amazing skill to have. I mean, my son has it. He's 14 years old. Obviously, he doesn't even have $1,000 to. Well, he has a little bit more, but doesn't know about it. So don't tell him, right? You know these trust fund kids, right? So anyhow, but he has already the skill because he has trained on a simulator. He put practice trades in, so you can do this without risking real money. So that's what you do, and then you enter competition. So there's lots of opportunities where you can acquire that skill that will help you all your life without risking real money first.
Oh, I love it. I love it, especially for young adults. I think this is so key because, yeah, when you're older, you need it more, but it's a skill that like you see your 14-year-old son, the younger you learn it, the better it is for you. So that positions you for the rest of your life. And by the time you're ready to retire, and hopefully sooner than later, you're in a good position. You're in a good place. I love it. I think this is fabulous. Good. So I want to thank you. I really want to thank you, Markus, for sharing with our audience. I just think I have to tell you I'm very fascinated by it. I've always heard about trading. I've tried to learn it. It was very overwhelming. And sitting with you for just a few minutes, I've learned so much. So we're going to continue this conversation privately. And
okay, of course.
with our finances, my finances, and Rachel and her family. So it's definitely a conversation to continue. But again,
it's been so much fun. So, I mean, this is great. I mean, time has been flying by. I
know. I know.
I mean, has it already been 40 minutes? Wow.
Oh, yeah, probably.
I love the fun.
Probably
I mean,
even a little more.
You're a great host.
Yeah, because you know it is, when you do what you love and you're passionate about what you do, time flies. I can talk about innovation. I can talk about creativity and foresight and business all my life and feel like I was just been talking for 5 minutes. It's when you love something, when you're passionate about something, it's really something that you can talk about forever. And
right.
And you've acquired a skill that most of us need, and you can share that information very wisely, very simple, very simply, and just make people think differently. And I think that's a great place. That's a great place to start, if they can just start thinking differently. And I love the idea about that simulator. So the simulator, where would they find that?
There's plenty of simulators available. One of my favorite ones is at the Chicago Board of Options. The website is CBOE, Chicago Board of Options Exchange, I believe. CBOE.com. They have fantastic simulators that are free. I mean, that's a great thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's provided right by an exchange, because the exchanges also want you to be successful. So they provide great tools. So, and I believe if you go to rockwelltrading.com/simulator, we are redirecting there, because that's what we recommend. It's a good tool.
Okay, fantastic. I love it. So I want to thank you for being here, and I want to thank you for sharing this very important message with our audience. Again, if you have $5,000 that are sitting in a savings account, take it out and trade because
right.
that's really where the money is. It's a great place to start, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So one last question. And if you have a retirement fund and you have $5,000 there, would you recommend that they trade with that retirement fund?
You see, if you have a retirement fund, and the retirement fund could be a few $100,000, depending where you are in your life. It could be a few $1,000s, a few $10,000, a few hundred. Just take a little bit, okay? Start and prove to yourself that you can do it. Don't immediately dissolve all your retirement fund, put it in your own account, and then so you start trading $200,000 without knowing what you're doing. It's like giving a 16-year-old a Ferrari to drive, right? You don't want to do this. I mean, you give them an old clunker so that you can learn, and that if something happens, it doesn't hurt anybody. So the same here, right? You take a small portion of it, you get started. When you see success, this is when you gradually start trading. That's the idea. Okay,
fantastic. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so Thank you again for being here. We definitely want to have you back anytime that you have a new product or a new service. We definitely want to hear about it, and we want to be able to share this message with our audience too, because I just think it's fascinating. I love the whole idea, and again, we're definitely going to be having this conversation. We're going to continue this conversation. So thank you so much for being with us, Markus.
Yes, thank you, Markus.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. You're
so
amazing.
we will see you. And to the audience, like I said, I'm always combing the earth, looking for the best of the best. I feel that when it comes to trading and this whole topic, I found the best. And I'm always sharing them with you. So, again, thank you for being here. We look forward to seeing you next week with yet another fabulous guest. All right, bye. I want to thank you for being with us on Business Foresight, always creating strategies towards an extraordinary future. Remember, I'm here with you with strategies every Saturday. I'll see you next week.